Hi, so before I start, I just wanted to let you know that I will be putting in a video clip of something that recently happened to me not too long ago, and it is a little stressful to watch, so um, just putting this out there. If you don't, like things like that, just click away or kind of skip it. Other than that, this is just used for purposes of talking about my disorder. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about my bipolar 2 disorder. What that is you have, stages of hypomania episodes and depression episodes. So we're going to start with hypomania. So what hypomania is it's a state of euphoria. So you feel good, you have a decreased need for sleep, you're always on the go, you go rapidly from one thing to another, you have like impulsive and risky behaviors, you can spend a lot of money, you can sleep with a lot of people that you normally wouldn't. So you also have some irritability, which guilty, that happens to me a lot. So yeah, and it never reaches its full like mania like bipolar 1, but it's still, you can tell. So most people know the depression part of it. It's literally like critical depression. It's, you lack motivation, you feel worthless. It can also escalate all the way up to suicidal thoughts. I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. So with bipolar 2, sometimes you feel more of the depression than you do the hypomania. It's usually for a couple of weeks to a few months at a time, either or, and it sucks. It really does. Before I was on medication, I was feeling a lot of the irritatedness with the hypomania, but I was also very depressed to the point where I had also like started self-harming again. Fine now, I am. I did have a little hiccup last week, but we'll get to that. So most people who are diagnosed with this disorder are usually diagnosed either in their teens to 20s, but ultimately you're diagnosed before your 50s, so that's something. There is treatment for it, but there is no cure. So fun times. So there are different ways to cope with this. There are medications such as lithium and Seroquel, stuff like that. Obviously there's also therapy, which a lot of people do to just kind of keep it in order, or they'll do both. So earlier I had stated that I was on a medication, not going to say what it, the name, but it is an antipsychotic. So it treats depression, it treats bipolar, and the highest dose is schizophrenia. So obviously I'm in the middle, but I recently had run out and I couldn't get it until 2 days. For money purposes, it was a little expensive, so that happened. I was fine the first day. I noticed that my sleeping pattern was starting to go a little off, and I don't know, it was just, I was asleep, but I was still conscious. So the second day, I felt fine in the beginning. I was trying to go to sleep and my eyes started getting heavy, and all of a sudden it's just, I couldn't go to sleep at all. Like I couldn't go to sleep at all. No amount of minutes or anything like that, I just couldn't sleep. And I started hearing this weird like banging noise, and I thought I was going crazy, but I confirmed it today that it was happening again, and I'm on my medication again. So I kept hearing this banging noise, but it was starting to irritate me so much since I haven't been on my medication in 2 days. Everything was just heightened, and I started getting nauseous. It was just such a bad time. So around 5:30, I looked out and the sun was out. You know, it was starting to come out, and I was just like, I work in a couple of hours. I didn't go to sleep. So I was just staring at the sun, and all of a sudden I just felt overwhelmed, not knowing what was going on, and I just, sorry, there was like a car that went by. I just started bawling my eyes out, like just no control. I didn't even know why I was crying at this point, but I started crying. The noise kept happening, and all of a sudden I messaged my uncle at 5:30 in the morning, but he was actually up, so I feel better about that. But he was trying to help me and all that, and then, you know, when my mom woke up, she was like, why didn't you just wake me up? And I don't know what was going on. But here's where I'm going to insert that clip that I was talking about in the beginning. It was around 5:30, and I had recorded it just to see myself and what was going on. I had also sent it to a couple of friends because I literally did not know what was happening. So yeah, here's that clip. I haven't slept at all. I keep hearing this stupid sound. I feel like I'm going crazy. Yep, so that sucked. So as for me personally, I was diagnosed a couple of months ago. I was originally, like I said in my last, my first video about this, I had anxiety and depression labeled on me, and it escalated. So there was a part of me that knew that I was bipolar. Every time I would talk to someone, I would just go like kind of a little crazy. My hair is like not, I was more irritable than anything, like, I don't know, it'll be like the smallest thing, and I always just escalated it to like the highest thing possible for no reason, and it's like, why? I look back at things now and I'm like, why? I mean, I still do it every now and then, but it's not as bad. So if anybody was wondering why I was still single, yeah, so as of right now, I'm fine. I've been on my medication for a couple of days, but that was, I think, the scariest thing that has ever happened to me. So lesson learned. But yeah, that's pretty much it for bipolar 2 for me. People are different, like I said, I could only speak for me. I mean, I can go on about what not to say to people with bipolar, but that could be a different video. Just the biggest thing is, sorry, cough. So the biggest thing is just, for me, don't tell me that it's all in my head and I'll feel better soon. I know that. I just need you to listen. If something, I don't know, like, I just feel like that's for everyone. If something is going on, obviously we know that it's all in our head. So you don't have to continue repeating that. We know. So yeah, I guess that's it for bipolar 2. Don't know when I will be posting my PTSD one, but yeah, it was voted and I gave it to you, so I don't know how to end this, so bye guys.